Hi, I'm attorney Jim Desmond. All I do is handle car and motorcycle accident cases. Today, rather than have a video podcast where I have a discussion with my producer, I just wanted to talk to you directly about something. Today, I wanted to talk to you about what happens when I first meet a client and kind of give you an illustration of it. I met with someone yesterday and I kind of want to use that as an example. Obviously, I can't tell you the details, but I can kind of go through the procedure, and I think it's important. It's a little bit of a long video compared to the other one, so I may be looking at my notes here shortly. But the long story short, immediately when I talked to these people on the phone, they were able to text me the police report number. I was able to get that. That's huge. And the reason that is because then I went over and met with them. All right. Now the police report tells me, is this guy insured? Was he cited for anything? Okay. Was there any citations? Who was injured? Who's the other parties? What did the police officer think happened at the scene? In this case, matter of fact, even before I went over, I was able to make a quick call to his insurance company. And while the claim hadn't been reported by him, unfortunately, then in the same respect, they did confirm for me that there was an active policy. So I knew the guy was insured. I didn't have to talk to my clients about uninsured coverage and such like that. So when I went over there, I realized, first of all, my client had a pretty good injury. We were talking about bills immediately that from what they described to me, I was thinking we're going to deal with an ER bill, emergency room bill, of $15,000 to $20,000. What's the first step you want to consider doing on that? Reserve the no-fault benefits, all right? Kentucky is no-fault or PIP, same thing. Indiana's MedPay. I don't care which way you go with it, but if you've got MedPay in Indiana or no-fault in Kentucky, send a note to your insurance company and make sure they acknowledge it, that you're reserving those no-fault benefits. And why do I say that? No-fault refers to the fact that your vehicle covers your medical bills and other issues, other elements of damages more correctly, up to $10,000 immediately if the accident happens in Kentucky, all right? In Indiana, it's MedPay, very similar. In short, think about it. I just told you the client had maybe a $20,000 bill was my guess. If U of L Hospital comes in and grabs your no fault of $10,000, you still have a $10,000 balance with the University of Louisville Hospital. So you just lost one source to be able to recover different elements of your damages. That's why I wanted them to reserve it, no matter what they chose to do, okay? The second element from the police report on this one, and I always preach to you all, uninsured and underinsured coverage. And it's not just malarkey. Sorry, I wish it was, but it's not, okay? In the police report on this one, I looked, and we have one, and I'll use the term jerk, not the term I'm thinking of, but we have one jerky driver that hit 3 vehicles, and we have probably 7 to 8 people injured. That is what automatically I can tell you would be a possibility of what we call an interpleader case. An interpleader case is the insurance company has this amount of money, a set amount, to divide up, and they got too many people making a claim against that. So they have to figure out how to divide it up, and if they have to file it with the court and let the judge do it, that's what they have to do. So again, where does that come into play on this client? Immediately I wanted to see their own policy to see if there was underinsured coverage. Because again, if he's insured, it's not the uninsured coverage that applies, but he didn't have enough insurance because I've got to split it with 7 or 8 other people, right? Or I've got to split my client's recovery more correctly with 7 or 8 other people. So now, basically, I was going to go back, my fallback, my worst case scenario is underinsured coverage on my client's policy to make sure I can take care of them and serve them well. The other aspect, health insurance, right off the bat. I knew, like I said, I think the ER bill is $15,000 to $20,000. That's my experience. Is it a guess? Absolutely. Am I pretty good at guessing? Yeah, I've done this 25 years, okay? But in the same respect, I want the health insurance to pay that. Will they balk? Will everybody tell me that no fault or PIP is primary over the health insurance? Yes, they will, and they are right. But guess what? I'm still going to reserve the PIP, use it for other things, let the health insurance pay the bill. Why? Because let's say if Medicaid, for example, pays that University of Louisville Hospital bill, that $20,000 bill, they might pay out $2,500, all right, maybe 10% or less to satisfy that bill. Their right to recover from my client's settlement is $2,500, not the billed amount. So again, as I've always stressed to you all before, if you watch these other videos, the job of a good personal injury attorney is not how much I get you with the right hand. It's how much I get with you with the right hand and how much do I keep people out of your settlement with the left hand, okay? Because again, you got to minimize how much comes out of your client's settlement because very rarely is there more than enough insurance to cover all my client's injuries. That was the first part a little bit And I'm going to cut it off there for a reason. We may have a follow-up video to this here shortly that I'll designate part 2. But I hope that information helps. Again, I'm attorney Jim Desmond. All I do is car and motorcycle accident cases in Kentucky and Indiana. You can reach me directly on my cell phone, and I hope you will, because that's the way you should do it. I hate to be like that, but that's how every attorney in town should do it, is that they should be talking to their client directly. But my cell phone is 502-609-7657. Feel free to give me a call or to give me a text with any information that you might need or any additional questions you might have. And as always, thank you for taking the time to listen to this, and I hope it was educational and that you enjoyed it. Thanks again. You all have a good day.